Egor Demin. Now, this is a name I'll be watching heading into the 2025 NBA Draft, and frankly, you should too, because after a one-and-done season at BYU, Demin is beginning to shoot up mock drafts as a silky smooth 6'10" point guard. He's also one of the slickest passers that we've seen in years. But what I love about this player is the untapped potential that could make him a legit steal for whatever team that selects him. Welcome everybody, my name is Troy and this is the Half Court Report. Be sure you click that thumbs up button and subscribe for some of the best NBA content that you're going to find on YouTube. So first off, the numbers. In his lone season for BYU, Demin averaged 10.6 points, 5.5 assists, nearly 4 rebounds, and over a steal per game. He also ran the show for a BYU team that ranked 9th in the nation in KenPom adjusted offensive efficiency. And considering Egor is 6'10" with a near 7-foot wingspan, it isn't surprising that he has fans in many NBA front offices. Like any young player, there are things that Demin needs to work on to maximize his abilities, but players with his combination of size, ball handling ability, and basketball IQ can fit in on any team. This is a player with major upside. According to Zachary Cohen over at Real GM, Egor Demin is that special as a playmaker. Add to that, his first step is rather quick, and that allows him to attack the basket. And while he doesn't finish every time he drives to the hole, Demin can make some pretty sweet passes off a live dribble. He also flings the ball around with one arm, making hook passes to open shooters or cutters that you never saw coming. He's also very solid when it comes to manipulating defenses and reading the floor. So whether that's by looking defenders off, going under the basket with a Steve Nash-esque like probing, or finding any way imaginable to create space for himself or his teammates, this is a guy who can do it all. Front offices love big wings that can handle the ball, and there aren't many who can do it like Egor Demin. In fact, going back almost 20 years, only Scotty Barnes and Egor can say that they are 6'9" or above and had an assist rate of at least 30% in their freshman seasons. And considering Scotty recently inked a 5-year, $225 million extension, it's easy to see that's pretty good company. There's a realistic chance Egor Demin ends up being one of the best offensive players in this class, especially if he lands in a situation where he's going to get looks as a primary initiator. And if he doesn't, maybe landing in a winning situation as a secondary initiator. That would work too. He just needs significant on-ball reps. Add in some floor spacing around him, and Egor should end up making his next team very, very happy. As for the knocks on his game, Egor started the season shooting 46.8% from 3 through 6 games on over 5 attempts per game. My man was looking like a top 5 pick, but ultimately it didn't hold up as he ended up shooting 27% from behind the three-point line on the season. So if Egor Demin doesn't improve the jumper, he's going to have a hard time reaching his full potential. Free throw shooting, which is usually a pretty strong indicator of future long-range shooting success, does give me some pause because he shot only 70% at BYU. Some good news, though, is that the reports from the NBA Draft Combine saw Egor Demin making significant strides with his shooting mechanics and also adding muscle to his thin frame. Teams raved about his interviews, too. The reports were so positive, in fact, that there is a renewed sense of optimism that Egor Demin could be taken much higher in the draft than many originally thought. Defensively, it should also be noted that Demin is still figuring things out on that end, as many players do. He struggled to defend quicker wings, he got pushed around a bit by stronger players, and at times he was guilty of ball watching. However, it's hard to worry too much about his defense as he moves his feet well, and he has the type of length needed to defend multiple spots. So for me personally, that's not a huge concern. In the end, it's going to be the jumper that makes or breaks Egor Demin. If he ends up being a good off-the-ball shooter, he's going to be a stud in the league. Even as just a good catch-and-shoot guy, he'll be a great offensive player. His path to success is becoming a high-level offensive player who can be an engine for a top offense in the league. If he becomes that, he's going to have a long career. In terms of NBA comparisons, Josh Giddey of the Bulls is a name that's getting thrown around a lot. Like Giddey, Demin has proven to be an unreliable shooter thus far, but also a big and successful playmaker, just like Josh Giddey. And if you'll recall, Josh Giddey ended up being drafted in the top 10, number 6 overall, just a few years ago. Egor could be on that same trajectory. Another comparison, Deni Avdija, currently a wing for the Portland Trail Blazers. He was also selected in the top 10 by the Washington Wizards in 2020, number 9 to be exact. He was drafted for his potential as a playmaking wing. Now, it took a few years, but if you've watched the Portland Trail Blazers this past season, you'll notice that Deni was finally figuring things out and was a huge cog in their team. Another comparison is Anthony Black. Kevin O'Connor over at Yahoo Sports said that Egor has a lot of the same strengths as Anthony Black and a lot of the same weaknesses too. He has that rare ability at his size to make dazzling passes, but he also struggled to shoot and create his own shot against lengthy defenders. So that makes him more of a love him or hate him prospect than a sure thing. In terms of NBA teams that may select Egor Demin, I think the Brooklyn Nets are an option at that number 8 pick. The Nets really don't have a lead guard on their team, and I think Demin could step right in as that primary playmaker. The Nets have the shooting of Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson, but I think they would need a little extra shooting around Demin to maximize his ability. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder at number 15 would be a great spot for him, and talk about an embarrassment of riches for this Thunder team. They love guys who can dribble, pass, and shoot. Well, Demin has the dribbling and the passing part down. They just need to work on his shooting. If the Phoenix Suns could somehow get Egor Demin, that would be a great spot too. They need a primary creator, and they have the shooting of Bradley Beal and Devin Booker to help offset some of Demin's weaknesses. And what about the Milwaukee Bucks? Now, I have this as part of a trade with that number 14 pick to the Spurs for any sort of Giannis scenario. So what if the Spurs were somehow able to trade the number 2 pick, Dylan Harper, along with the number 14 pick, Egor Demin, and have that Harper and Egor backcourt long-term for the Bucks? I think that's pretty sweet, actually. And then finally, the Utah Jazz, they have that pick at number 5, which may be a little too high for Egor, but I love the Utah BYU connection. Demin would be another young piece to grow on that Jazz team, and I think an Isaiah Collier, Egor Demin backcourt could be pretty special down the line. Guys, let me know what you think of Egor Demin's game, and if you watched him in college, definitely comment. Let me know what you think, and where do you think he should go in the NBA draft? Since you've watched this far, make sure you drop a like for the YouTube algorithm and hit that subscribe button too, so you never miss another NBA video from me. Check out my recent mock draft that I did. And also, I've been doing lots of videos about prospects in this upcoming draft. Make sure you check those out too. Don't be a casual in basketball or in life. And I'll catch you next time on the Half Court Report.